Have you ever had a project that was late already and you decided to add more people to it, making it later? Well, you might be interested in today's topic, Brooks's Law, here at the Coffeehouse. Welcome back to the Coffeehouse. My name is Vic Bonacci. I am not only a certified Scrum trainer, but I'm also a coach and a delivery manager from time to time. Now today I'd like to talk to you about another person who is famous for delivery management, and that's Fred Brooks. He was an American computer scientist, architect, and manager. In fact, he was most famous in his day for managing the delivery of IBM's System 360. Goes back a ways. Some years later, he wrote about the experience in his 1975 book, The Mythical Man Month. And it was in this book where he shared his observation that adding manpower to an already late software project makes it even later. Now, Mr. Brooks went on to say that this is, of course, an outrageous oversimplification, but it provides a general rule. If you consider software projects, they can be very complex endeavors, many moving parts. And so if your project seems to be running late, and that's a certain prerequisite for this specific law, then by simply adding more people to the project, you can ensure, typically, that your software delivery becomes even later. And why is that? Well, there's a few factors. First of all, consider that adding people to a project, it takes time for their productivity to ramp up, as he calls it. They have to be brought up to speed on the design, the architecture, the principles, the team members, who's doing what, what's already been done, what's the approach that we're taking. Many different factors go into bringing your new members up to speed. And by adding more people late in a delivery project, you're also taking people off of tasks that are currently in progress. So just simply adding people to a late project and hoping that it will get done faster isn't always the key. In fact, there's another component to it, communication. Consider you have a team of 4 people and you add another 3 people to the team. Now you've got 7 people. You've almost doubled the size of the team. And what does that do to the lines of communication? Well, with 4 people, each person only has to communicate maybe with 3 others. Now you've got 7 people, and so that doubles the amount of connections or communication lines between me and each of my team members. That's just for me. It's more exponential team-wide. A final consideration is that if the project itself is very complex and involves a number of specialties, then each of the tasks would appear to be less divisible. Brooks overstates the point by using the well-used analogy of 9 women not being able to deliver a baby within 1 month. Now, of course, there are some exceptions to the rule. For instance, this applies to projects that are already behind schedule. If you've got a project that is in its earlier phases, adding people might make sense. In fact, another thing you could do is to add more people than you think are necessary, because you could use the economies of scale when you're doing training and onboarding. You can otherwise get a lot of people trained or onboarded at once, taking specialists off of their tasks to do some training one time only, as opposed to bringing some people in and then another person and later another person. And also, maybe you could add people to do other tasks that haven't been started yet. Things like quality assurance or documentation often come to mind. So keep all of this in mind. If you've got a late project, you don't just want to add new people to the project and hope that the delivery timeline will accelerate, because sadly, it's not often the case. Well, I'm behind schedule, and I've got to run. So until next time, enjoy your coffee with friends.